What are you seeing up in your state right now?
Well, first of all, thank you, Mr. President, for making this opportunity available. I'll echo our thanks to Jeff Zients and his team. They pick up the phone no matter what the question is, and they get us answers. I'd like to give a special thank you to the other governors who are on here. They have been a source of information and inspiration, best practices as we share together. And I would certainly associate myself with Governor Cox's remarks when it comes to confidence and how to get it done. I do think making that connection of what it means to get vaccinated and get it done quickly. We saw here in Minnesota where, along with Michigan, we saw a spike here recently in this latest surge around the B.1.1.7 variant. But because of the availability of the vaccine, the speed that it had gotten out, we were able to blunt that. And what that meant is hospitals did not become overwhelmed. We did not have to close back down doing many of the things we were doing. And the most important thing is far fewer people died from that. So this idea of getting it into arms and getting it out there has real world consequences. And I do agree. The confidence is based on the data. Governor Cox is exactly right. We believe in the data. We believe in transparency. And for the governors who are on here, this is kind of the bane of our existence of trying to get this data because it gets pounced on. You're not doing this, you're doing that. But I think being transparent, open, and use that data with the public shows them you measure what you care about. And that's how we focused, much like it sounds like Utah. And my guess is many others are doing it. But each state's a little different. And I think we had some built-in advantages. One is we had trusted third-party validators like the Mayo Clinic to be able to validate some of this data. But we also have a tradition here. We had the highest voter turnout in the last election. We also had the highest census return. I'm sure that's to the angst of New York, but we were able to do that. And the strategies that it takes to get people to vote, like Governor Cox said, some are very enthusiastic about it. Some maybe go if they have the opportunity. Same thing with the census. So what we understood is the folks who make those so successful are local trusted partners, as you've heard. And one of the great success stories is listening to those folks who know how to do it. Here in Minnesota, we have 11 sovereign tribal nations. They did this better than anybody else in the country. They focused on their elders, they focused on multi-generational households, and they focused on delivering where people were at. That same model, we're kind of one of the centers of pork and poultry production. Those facilities were some of the hardest hit. Many of them are communities of color and immigrant community. They're multi-generational households that can spread amongst a nexus of Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota. And those communities had many reasons to be hesitant. They were hit hard, there were casualties, there was a lack of trust in those communities. So there's a story got told on PBS NewsHour. A young organizer named Jessica Velasco used some of those principles in her community where she was well known, knocked door to door, and we saw some of the highest rates of uptake on the first days, above 70%. In these facilities where we were doing multi-generational vaccinations. So again, it's not assuming these people are hesitant, they're ideologically opposed. It's trying to understand where they're at, what are the differences. Some are going to respond differently to different groups. And then just candid, these outreach, the buses, the pulling into parking lots. Tonight I see Governor Baker's there. I'll be at the St. Paul Saints opener, a Twins affiliate, and we're giving vaccinations to folks coming through the gate as they come there. They know that a vaccinated Saints fan is someone in the seats, and it's starting to connect all these with partners. And when I got my vaccine, I was glad I took my friend along, a predecessor of mine, former Republican Governor Tim Paulini, and we got vaccinated together. And my message to folks there's a lot of good reasons to get vaccinated, but for some of them, you know, if you need another one, go get vaccinated so you're alive to vote against me in the next election. I don't care. I just want to get it done. And I think this idea of not shaming people, not thinking that it wasn't there, understanding that maybe you have an expecting mother who wants more information, data, third-party validators, and then trusted delivery methods of this. And we used the voting census model on a way to get that out there, and then partnered and brought it to where people are at. And I'm proud to say we're at 64% of your goal today, Mr. President. We will be there. But I think all of us know this is going to be a little longer process, but folks are coming along. So I want to thank you for highlighting this. And I want to thank the fellow governors for all the advice and good ideas they've been able to give to us.